Good evening, everyone, and welcome once again to your live Investment Dominator Q&A call. Better share my screen here with you. And my name is Warren Davis. Oh, I tell you, this has been quite a day, a good day. But we want to welcome you to this live Investment Dominator Q&A call. It is Monday, the 3rd of April, 2020. I always have to say the date and the time for the office who is going to record these calls. And we're so happy to have you here. Thank you so much, Jason. Good to see you on the call there. Always enjoy seeing you out there. It is a wonderful day. It's been a busy day, but it's been a good day. Hoping all of you are staying safe and that you're had a good weekend, and that we're ready here to, as usual, to get some questions answered for you. So before we get started, hopefully you can see my screen and hopefully hear my voice. We finally made it here. Had to take a little time off this afternoon, go to the bank, take care of some good land business, but it was all good. So in any case, welcome. Those of you that are brand new with us here, we want you to know how to get your questions answered. So we'll start with just sharing with you how to send in your questions. You have a control box there, hopefully that you can find, that will have a box for questions. And we'll just ask that you type in the word question or maybe put a question mark there. Thank you so much, Mike. I appreciate that sound check there. Want to make sure that you type in either the question mark and put your question after that, or you can type in the word question and then list your question. You can do it that way as well, or you can just type in a Q and then your question, and I'll be able to distinguish that between any comments that come through. Don't worry about the raising of the little hand there, because I normally don't see that anyway. Okay, so the way we structured our Monday calls here, you all may be aware. Let's see, this is August 3rd. The way we structure our calls here is, for Mondays, we start off with what we call the big three, which is for the beginners, making sure that if you're just new to Investment Dominator, you know the big three items to get set up in your Investment Dominator. And then we continue on with the questions that we might have received from a previous course or previous webinar. All right, and in any case, we do want to address for you the big three items that we want everyone to have complete prior to either starting your business in Investment Dominator or before you come to one or 2-day workshops. And as we have stated, I think the next 2-day workshop is scheduled for actually August 31st and September 1st. That's the next one we have scheduled. So if you're interested in coming to that, we have you call the office and our customer service at area code 602-712-0175 and speak with someone at the office there, hopefully Jenny Peterson. And again, that is area code 602-712-0175. If you will call that number, hopefully they will be able to get you signed up for the 2-day workshop that is coming up. And that's where you'll spend 2 days. We will be going through every aspect of the deal flow, LPG deal flow process, so that just to give you a little preview of what we'll be going through, all of these different phases of the LPG deal flow process. And we're going to be doing that in a 2-day period of time. Keep in mind, this normally takes a person or persons approximately 2.5 months, can be up to 3 months to go through all of this process and actually get a close on a property. but we're going to condense all of this activity into a 2-day workshop so that we'll actually mail out an offer request out of that particular workshop. It's kind of exciting because we've actually gotten deals from that particular activity. So in any case here, we're here to get your questions answered. We're going to start with what we call our big three. And we'll try to expedite this a little bit today. If we have anyone on the line that you can type in for me, if you are brand new, this is your first time either you've been on this webinar or you're brand new with Investment Dominator in terms of you just received Investment Dominator maybe last week or maybe even over the weekend, and you have just logged in basically and you are brand new. If there's anyone like that, if you would be so kind as to type in your box there that you are brand new and this is your first time, we'll make sure that we go through every single aspect of the big three. Otherwise, I'll probably try to cut it short here as much as I can so I can get some of these other questions answered that we have, along with our backlog of questions that we have coming in right now. So if you're brand new, welcome. Okay, see a couple of folks that are. Let's start with just simply your profile here. First of all, when you log into Investment Dominator, I'll just do that for the sake of our brand new folks. When you log in, hopefully with the right login ID, okay, you will come up, this tour will pop up, and this will just allow you to go through the major functions within Investment Dominator just by hitting next. Okay, it'll take you through the Investment Dominator, show you some of the main functions, the screens that you will encounter as you go through the LPG deal flow. You don't have to go through the entire tour. You know, at any point you can just say end the tour and it will stop wherever it's at. And one of the ways, if you want to disable that tour, is when you come into your profile. Now, this is one of the big three. This is the first of the big three that we want you to address. Your profile. You come in here and it says do enable tour. You just click this no and update. Hit the update button here. It will update that entry, and when you log in, the tour will not automatically pop up. Right now, the way it's set, your tour is going to automatically pop up. So that's the first thing. And understanding on this profile, this is a personal profile. So this is your name, first name, last name, personal email address, not your company email address, and obviously a phone number. Can be a personal cell phone or a home phone that we want you to enter here. Okay. So this is the first three of the big requirements. We do want you to also generate a signature. Make sure you have a signature over here generated. This is very important because this will print out on the documents that go out of Investment Dominator with where a signature is required. Let's say your neutral letters that go out of Investment Dominator. You want to make sure that you have your signature in. In order to generate a signature, you come over, you hit generate signature, just type in your name, and you want to select one of these nice fonts that we have here, and as you can see, it changes the way your name is displayed. If you don't want to keep black and white, but you desire to have color, there's this black color bar right here. Just left click on that. Select any aspect of the color bar that you see here. As you can see, I'm selecting the blue section, and I can just come up here and I can select any shade of blue that I like. I may want to make it more pink. You know, it's up to you. But whatever you select, you want to make sure you highlight that little area, and then just left click, or excuse me, yes, left click outside of that area for your signature, and it should color your signature. And then you can just say insert signature. As you can see, it brings it in with that font and the color that you selected. Now, the next step will be to make sure you hit update here. You want to hit update because Investment Dominator does not automatically save any of your updates, okay? So this is the number one of the big three that we'd like you to have complete before you start sending letters out or before you come to a 2-day Investment Dominator Maximizer workshop. Secondly, after profile, under customize. This is where a lot of folks kind of get hung up here getting set up. We want to make sure that you have your company information set up. And even before I go much further here, I do want to bring up one. Let's see. I do want to get one of my displays for you. Be patient and hold on here just for a moment. All right, I will bring that up shortly. Okay, first thing we want you to know is in your company information, we want you to set up a company email address and want you to set up a company name. Now, this is going to be an email address that all of your company correspondence will come to. So it can be a Gmail. A lot of times people ask me, does it be a Gmail? Can it be a Yahoo? Or does it have to be a purchased email address like through GoDaddy or through Namecheap? And the answer to that is no, it does not have to be a purchased email address. It can be a Gmail, it can be a Yahoo account, and that works just fine. In terms of company name, we want you to have a company name that you've filled out. Now, I do have here, in case you don't have an LLC set up, you don't have to rush out and set one up. We want you to say DBA or doing business as, and you can say whatever your name is. Okay, you can say DBA as your name here, and you can put that in place of having a name or an LLC. If you have a company name set up, that's perfectly acceptable. And like I say, in the absence of that, you can just say DBA and your name. Now, this address, though, we do want you to have a company address. Company address different than your home address. Please do not put your home address. We've had another case where someone didn't listen and they did put in their home address. So they started receiving correspondence from, an unwanted correspondence from individuals that have their home address. We don't want you to have any buyers or sellers that have your personal contact information. People can sometimes be rather silly and non-professional, so we want you to be safe at all times. So please go and find a address like a UPS store that has a PO box, and we do not want you to put in PO and box like that. They can have a PO box assigned to you, but use their street address, the city, state, and the zip for that particular mailbox or PO box, and that will suffice for you. All right, please do not put your home address in here. So finally, after you have your post office box, the address there, and you are ready now to go on to your phone systems, we want you to have 3 phones represented in your company information. First one is a company phone number, right? This is the correspondence out of Investment Dominator when you send out your neutral letters, which is the first letter that goes out specifying to people that you're interested in purchasing their property. This is their company phone number will print out. Whatever you put in here will print out on your neutral letter that goes out of Investment Dominator. So you want to make sure you have a company phone in here. And again, this is your seller of property. So these are sellers of property, the company phone, and the offer phone. These are sellers of property. Now, once someone responds to your neutral letter and they get back and saying, yes, I'm interested in getting an offer on my property, you're going to swing into action at that point, and you're going to calculate an actual offer based on the market value and based on what Investment Dominator gives you as your minimum and your maximum, but you're going to calculate an offer. You're then going to mail that offer out using Investment Dominator. Investment Dominator is going to print whatever number you place in your offer phone onto your offers. So remember, your neutral letter has gone out. They've responded saying, yes, I want an offer. You go in and calculate an offer, and this is the offer phone. So before I go any further, I want to make sure you understand that these are your sellers of property. Company phone is for your neutral letters. Offer phone is for your offer letters. Both of these are sellers of property. So we do have a system called Ring Central that can be in place for you. One phone number, you see it's the same phone number I have here for my offer and my company phone. One phone number, two extensions. Now, extension 1 will be when they first respond to your neutral letter and someone calls this number, you'll have a recording that will say, hello, this is XYZ company. We're sorry we're unavailable to take your call in person. Please don't hang up. Press extension 1 if you're interested in selling us your land. Or press extension 2 if we have sent you an offer and you wish to accept that offer or discuss that offer. So remember, both of these are sellers of property. That's why we can have them have the same phone number. And through Ring Central, you can have two extensions. Now, are there alternatives to Ring Central? Yes, you do not have to use Ring Central, but it does offer a real nice solution which has two extensions. Extension 1, if they hit that, that can go to Pat Live, which is a call center, or Smith AI is also a call center, or callme.com, that's another call center. So these people will pick up the phone 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you won't have to worry about answering those neutral letter calls. You figure if you send out 500 neutral letters to be tested to a given county, you could have anywhere from 40 to 50 phone calls coming in at all hours of the day or night or on the weekends. And you may want someone to answer that for you. That's where Pat Live comes in. That said, you are more than welcome to, rather than having this extension 1 go to Pat Live, it could go to a cell phone or it can go to another phone that you have designated. Okay, so that's up to you. Extension 1 is for your neutral letter calls. Extension 2, you've sent the folks an offer and now they're responding. You want to make sure that that does not go to Pat Live or does not go to Smith AI or any other call center. You want to make sure you pick up those calls. So this extension 2 could be forwarded to a Google Voice number that you have set up, or a Skype number, or some other cell phone. That's totally up to you. But you want to make sure that when they hit extension 2, that you are the one picking up that phone call. Okay, so these are your sellers of property again. Now, for your buyers of property, again, people that you now have land under contract, someone has accepted your offer, and you have land under contract and you have it up on your selling site, we want you to have a selling site phone number. This is a phone number we recommend be completely separate from your sellers, your people that are selling you property, because these are your buyers of property. Your selling site phone or your selling site are your buyers of property, people that are going to pay thousands of dollars for land that you have under contract. So please specify a completely separate number. You can have, obviously you can have a Google Voice, or you can have another separate cell phone, as we do in our company. We have a separate black cell phone that when it rings, we know that it's someone interested in purchasing property. That's our selling site phone. We do not give this phone number out to family, friends, or associates. Only people that have been on our selling site, have seen land that we have for sale, and they call us, actually get this phone number. Okay, so we keep it completely separate from our sellers. Why do we do that? Because your sellers, you're purchasing their land for pennies on the dollar, for maybe $1,000 or $1,200. You're selling that same land for $18,000 or maybe $25,000. So you want this seller's market of people to be completely separate from your buyer's market of people. Hopefully that makes sense to you. So you want to have a different phone system set up altogether. You can have a phone system just like this through RingCentral. Remember I said one local number and two extensions. Extension 1, which is going to be forwarded to Pat Live or a call center, or to another cell phone that you have designated. Extension 2 will be for your ones that you've sent an offer to, and now they're responding back saying, hey, I want a little bit more on that offer. They want to talk to you about that offer. You can have that forwarded to a cell phone or a Google Voice or a Skype number. And then RingCentral can set you up a separate number altogether where it will be your buyers of property. Remember, we want to make sure your buyers stay separate from your sellers. So this local number here is for your sellers of property. Local number 2 for your buyers of property. And they want to talk with you about land that you have for sale. Now you can forward that call to a cell phone that you have, or you can forward it to some other location. But make sure you keep that phone for buyers completely separate from extension 1 and 2, which are your sellers of property. Okay, hope that is making sense for you. There's that configuration. If you want, this one may run you right around $35 a month with RingCentral. If you want to know some costs, don't quote us on that. This is just the last time we've heard. It's by about $35, $36 a month for that service. If you want a little bit more expensive plan, this one is another configuration. RingCentral will give you 3 separate numbers. Remember, this first one equates to 3 separate numbers, but it's 2 numbers. One local number, which handles all your sellers, and then your buyers of property for the second local number. This configuration has 3 separate numbers. One for your neutral letter, which can be forwarded to Pat Live. The other one for your offers of property, people that call and said, hey, I have this offer in my hands. I want to discuss it with you. That's number 2. And number 3 then would be your buyers of property. This configuration costs you a little bit more. I don't exactly know how much more, but it is definitely more expensive than this configuration here at $35, $36 a month. So these are the 2 different configurations you can have with RingCentral, and it is totally up to you which one works best for you. And it's best to get RingCentral on the phone and have a frank discussion with them about how you would like to set up your phone systems. Once you're done with that, you have a company time zone that you want to make sure you specify. And then if you are a real estate agent or a broker, or if anyone in your company is a real estate agent or broker, you will want to say yes to this question and disclose that. There is a built-in disclosure statement that we have already in Investment Dominator. You're more than welcome to change this to whatever you're liking and just communicate that you do have a licensed real estate agent or broker in your company. Say yes, then you come down and you hit update site, and there you have it. Okay, it will make sure you get this green site is updated message. Okay, moving on here. So that's profile is first of the big 3, company information, second of the big 3. And then, okay, got quite a few questions coming here. Okay, so here we have the third of the big 3 is your buying and selling site domains. These are domains hopefully that you will purchase through GoDaddy, GoDaddy.com, which is a provider of domains. I'm sure most people have heard of GoDaddy. There's always Namecheap as well, or REI Black Book that's out there. An example of a buying site name for your, remember, you only need 2 domains, but you do need a buying site and a selling site domain. For some reason, students have only been thinking they needed 1 domain name, so they've only purchased 1, but you definitely need 2 separate domains. Example of your buying site domain would be www leonardbuysland.com, that they would type in this address bar up here, or www.leonardbuysdirt.com, something like that. Example of a selling site name, again, these are your buyers of property, might be www.landinvest.com. So letting folks know, hey, we invest in land. Or www.paradiselandforyou.com. Something like that would be an example of a selling site name. And again, we want you to purchase it from GoDaddy.com. That's the domain provider that we recommend. For $11.99 per domain for the entire first year, you are set up. Please, and I hope you hear this, only purchase the domain. Do not purchase any protection. Do not purchase any additional insurance. Do not purchase anything extra. The domain should cost you no more than $11.99 per domain. So that's for for $24. You should be set up there. $24 and some change. Your domains are set. And I will call your attention to an article that will help you set up or configure your domains. Okay, just type in custom domains. Now all I did was I went up here under the help facility up here up top, and I said search our user guide, and I'm typing in custom domains, and this is going to give me the appropriate article, which we want you to select the second article, how to change your website's domains or custom domains. Left click on that particular article. It's going to bring you up a series of instructions that we want you to execute on GoDaddy.com. And what we're doing, we're pointing the www name record to our investmentdominator.com server. Now, this doesn't matter if it's GoDaddy or if it's Namecheap. You still need to point the www name record for Namecheap to the investmentdominator.com. So that just means you must simulate all of these steps that we have here. The reason why we use GoDaddy, they're user-friendly, they're not expensive, and all of our instructions are around GoDaddy.com. We don't get any kickbacks or anything from GoDaddy, so it's not about that. It's just about that they're straightforward and they're easy for our students to, understand how to set up and point their domains. Okay, so these are the instructions, and basically what you will do, once you purchase your domains, you'll sign in because they will give you a username and password. All right, and hopefully that's the correct. Okay, and there we go. So once you have purchased your domains, they will give you a username and password. You sign in, make sure you go to My Products. You want to default to My Products, just like it says here in your instructions. You default to My Products, and then you simply want to scroll down. You want to select Manage next to the specific domain that you want to configure. Let's say I wanted to configure this Sweet Land for You. So I come over here, I hit Manage, and it's going to display that domain. The next step is under the DNS tab. Step number 4 says I want to select Manage Zones. So under here is the DNS menu. Drop down, it says Manage Zones. I select that. A search box is going to come up. All you do is start typing in your domain. All right, as I type in the domain, it's going to pop up. I select it. This is where I want you to see there's multiple CNAME records here, as you can see, right? The only one you're concerned with is associated with www. So this CNAME record is the one you want to change. Come over here and you hit this pencil next to that CNAME record, and it is basically, here's step number 6. You're going to hit the pencil, next to the CNAME record. It looks something like this on GoDaddy. It's going to bring up a box like you see here, this gray shaded box. In the points to area, you're going to see an @ sign or an ampersand as we might call it. It's going to look something like this here. That's what you'll see in this box. You just backspace that out, type in the words just like you see here, investmentdominator.com, lowercase, no spaces. Under the TTL, you want to select from the drop down custom. And then at this point, a seconds box is going to show up. And instead of it being 3,600 seconds, make sure you default it to 600, or you make it 600 seconds, just like you see here, and you hit save. At that point, your WWC name record is going to look just like mine, investmentdominator.com, 600 seconds. That portion is done. The next step is you want to set up what we call a forwarding. That's step number 10. You want to click add next to the forwarding for the domain. Now what a forwarding does is up here, when people type in your domain name, they do not, nowadays, they do not put the www dot in front of the domain name. All they put in is, LarryBuysDirt.com, and they expect the system to find your site successfully. The forwarding makes sure that www.LarryBuysDirt.com is what's executed so that your site is found successfully. So that's what we want you to do. We want you to hit add, set up your forwarding, www.LarryBuysLand.com, whatever it is, or LarryBuysDirt.com. That's all we want you to type in this box. It should default to permanent 301, and it defaults to forward only. So there's nothing for you to do there. And it also selects this update my name server. So once you type in www.domain name, you hit save, and your forwarding will look similar to my forwarding here, which is www. And then the domain name. Then you are all finished there on the GoDaddy side. Now, obviously, because you have a buying site and a selling site domain, you have two domains. So you want to go back and you want to come through this list of steps again for your selling site. You come through once for your buying site. You do the same thing again for your selling site, setting up the forwarding, setting up the WWC name record. You have to do this twice, okay? And then you're all done on the GoDaddy side. So then, according to our instructions, you're now going to go back to the Investment Dominator side, and you're going to map your domain. And what's that look like? Let's find an account here that will work with. And what that looks like is you coming up under Customize to map your domain and selecting Website Settings Buying or Website Settings Selling. Let's start with the buying site. You'll come in here and all you're going to say is change your domain. As you come in, you just type in your domain here as, LarryBuysLand.com, whatever that might be. Click yes, because you pointed the domain for the WWC name record correctly. You did all that work on GoDaddy. You hit next. All you do here is hit confirm. You don't make any changes. And once you hit confirm, the system is going to ask you to secure your domain. Now, this is why you don't need to buy any additional security from either GoDaddy or from Namecheap. You don't have to buy anything extra because we secure for you. You don't want to click OK. Click here to secure your domain. That's your next instruction. We provide you with a free SSL certificate. SSL stands for Secure Socket Layer Certificate. It basically puts a lock that you see here. It puts this lock on your site, so when people come to your site, they realize that your site is secure. You'll hit generate SSL over here. The system is going to spin for about 15 seconds. Mine says renew SSL because I've already generated it. You're going to spin for about 15 seconds and then you click OK. When you come back out, you're not done yet. You want to scroll to the bottom, hit update site, and that will update your SSL certificate and it will map your domain for Investment Dominator so that when you come up and you go under websites and you go to your buying site, you'll have something that looks like this, looks like your buying site. All right, so obviously you need to do this twice, once for your buying site, once for your selling site, right? So you come back in under selling, go through the exact same steps. Change your domain, type in your domain, click yes, click next, click confirm. You're going to go through the same list of steps here. Now, just so that we don't have to spend any more time than we've already spent here, that I'm going to take you back. Let's see, the next step, once it comes back, I'm just going to say okay here. Okay. So, same list of steps for your buying site, then you come back to your selling site. Now, if you want to find just what I shared with you today, go here under help, and you could play this back tonight, tomorrow. You don't have to wait for this recording to come out. You want to go into live Q&A training calls. Just look for any Monday webinar. So I believe we can say the 27th was a Monday. So you left click on that and you see here, I've got the big three right here. That's the first thing we start with. There's a video over here to the right. If you click on this video and you go 5 minutes and 25 seconds into this video, I'm talking to you about signature and how you set up your signature profile. You go 10 minutes, 15 seconds into this video, I'm talking to you about the company information, how you set that up. And finally, if you go 27 minutes, 25 seconds into this video, all you do is enact or start the video and then slide the bar over to 27:25, and we're talking about how you set up the domains. So you essentially could log into your Investment Dominator, go back here and see this done right now today, and you will be all set. And of course, if you need any assistance, I think most of you're welcome to set up a onboard call with me, and we can one-on-one, and we'll take 30 minutes and we can go through and get you all set up. There's that option too if you run into any issues with setting up your Investment Dominator. Hopefully that will help you out, folks. All right, so when our secure feature, okay, we've had that question a few times. A few questions around here is, will you get notified? Do you get automatically notified when our secure feature, SSL, he's talking about the secure socket layer, when this is going to expire? And the answer to that is no, I don't think you automatically get notified. I think the way it looks like is once this is set up, once you've secured your site for the very first time, I believe there's an automatic feature where through Investment Dominator, it comes back through and automatically resecures your site after the 90 days, because we haven't had to go back in and resecure ours. All right, we've always it's been like that for last more than 4 or 5 months since we started implementing this feature. It actually has been longer than that, so probably like 8 or 10 months, and we have not had to go back in and go through the resecuring of that again, or setting up the SSL certificate again. So I don't think you're going to have to worry about that. But we also go into our buying site ever so often when you go into your buying or your selling site, if you look up here and it just says not secure, you'll know that that's the issue. If this doesn't show this lock, all right? When your SSL certificate expires. Okay, let's see what we can knock out here in terms of questions. You people have been so patient to sit through our beginning stages, and that's great. Okay, I do get asked the question, you know, and this is just generally for everybody, that can we display the question? Like when someone asks a question, am I able to display the question that they ask so that everybody can see the question? And unfortunately, the answer is no. Can the questions be displayed? No, they cannot be displayed. The best I could possibly do is some of our backlog questions, I might be able to copy and paste them into, like, something like a notepad or something like that. Something like this, I might be able to do that with some of our questions, but again, I'm going to have to copy the question in. So we don't normally make it a practice to do that. Sorry about that. I'll try my best to give some context around the question so that you understand exactly what the question is on our webinars. Clarity. And if you don't understand the question, please just go on and type something in the box letting me know, hey, I didn't understand that last question. I try to give enough context around the question so that you can really understand each of the questions. So, sorry, the answer to that one is no. We can't, we probably will not be, there's no way for us to copy. And I thought I could copy the actual question that you guys send in and put it in the chat or something like that, but sorry, I can't do that. Thank you so much, folks, for understanding. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. Lori asked a question on last webinar. Is there a way to tag? Get a lot of questions on tags, which is really good. Is there a way to tag groups of records? And yes, absolutely, there is, Lori, that are already in the system. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you an article, Lori, that you can look at. And rather than us taking the time here, it's very straightforward. I think it will help you tremendously, and it'll hopefully help you get used to search your user guide and just type in the word tag. You'll find that in searching your user guide, the fewer words that you type in, the more it can search for you and the better searches you get. So just type in the word tag, search our user guide, and you see here where it talks about how tags work in the Investment Dominator CRM. This particular, excuse me, this particular article here, how tags and tagging records work in the Investment Dominator. This is the best, one of the best communications. I did write this article, and we have an associated video over here. Shows you how to create a tag, right? You first want to create your tag, and then of course you're going to, as you create your tag, you're going to then go in and tag your records. So it speaks to you about how you select multiple records here in the background, as you can see, and then I'm going to select my tag, and I'm going to tag them all at one time. And just to, real quick, high level, how this looks. Prospect record. If I wanted to tag all of these records with a tag I've already created, let's say I just wanted to tag one of these one at a time, I'm selecting them one at a time, but you can select a whole bunch of records at a time. then just simply come up here at this level. All right, see my cursor's at this level, and hit tag. And then I want to select one of the tags that I recently created. The last tag I created will always be down here at the bottom. So let's say I wanted it to be this test WD. I select that tag. Remember, it says I've got 6 records selected here, and when I say confirm tag, that's going to be it. Those tags, this tag is going to go on all 6 of the records that I selected here. Okay, it's just that simple. And hopefully you'll understand that. If you don't, here's a real step-by-step as well as a video associated with that, Lori. Hopefully that will help you with that issue. Okay, and let's see if we can get. I like to try to get some of the questions that came in today, as well as the ones that came in. Okay. So Bob, we did have this question. I think we had this question on last webinar. Property owners, when property owners request offers through our website. Request offers via our website. Can notification go to multiple email addresses? And we said, no, we're not able to do that at this time. Probably the best that you can do is you can set up a forward if you're using Outlook or an email address like that. The best you can do, Bob, is you can actually forward the email from your Outlook. Okay, and that then it could end up in another email address. So if you have your company email set up, let's say to forward, your company email is set up to go to your Outlook email address, then if your company email is an Outlook email address, then you could forward from this email address, you could forward it to another email address. That would probably be the best that you could do, so that it ended up in both email addresses. Okay. Just writing this down. Multiple addresses. Okay. And let's see what else we have here. Okay, got some questions I'll answer. Probably if I don't get to them today, I'll definitely get to them on Thursday. And Jim is saying, I've sent out mailings. How do I turn my prospects to mailed at one time? My dominators say there are over 100 pages. Okay, all right. So, good question, Jim. Okay, and I believe what Jim is referring to here is, okay, after doing your mailings, remember, one of the last steps that you want to do, let's just say I have come in here now, you see I have all these prospect records. If I've gone in under my campaigns and I've mailed all of these out, let's say I'm mailing them to through ITI or letterprinting.net. So I've mailed all of these out. Anything under prospect status gets mailed out, through this CSV file, which is an Excel file. The last step, Jim, at this point is to do a bulk command. Okay, and that bulk update of records is over here. So I'm going to hit this big blue, I hope you saw that. I'm going to hit this big blue bulk update records. I'm left clicking on that. it says I want to move these records to the next status. And I'm moving them from prospect to mailed letter 1 status, right? This is the way to do all of your prospects in this one swoop, right? Because it says there are 535 records here. Then I'm going to move to the next status. And once I select this and I say move these records to the next status, so if I hit this, if I left click on this, automatically the system now is going to move all of these prospects into mailed letter 1 status. Obviously, if there are only select ones that you want to do, you come in here and just select them, however you want to select them. Then you can go up here under change status. This is if you want to do it manually, do it the hard way. You can then go from prospect and just say mailed letter 1. So whatever records you have selected there, when you confirm this move, is going to move this to mailed letter 1. We teach that you only bring into the Investment Dominator in terms of prospect, you only import the records that you want to go out at that time that I want to process. So theoretically, I want to process all the prospect records in my system at the time. So I'm just going to come up here under campaigns. I'm going to do the bulk level, and I'm going to do it all at one time like I first specified. And that's the quickest way to move them to mailed letter 1 at one time. Okay. Fastest way to update prospects to mailed letter 1. Good question. Okay, and we do have students sometimes that forget. They forget to hit this bulk update, and so these records stay in here under prospect. Then they, of course, import another 100 or 300, 500 records in the next week, and they've got double the records going out or in prospect status. So got to make a note for yourself. Don't forget that. Okay, let's see. Sarah had a question. Sarah's question was simply, what's the name of a company that can take pictures of your property? This is more of a business question, but we'll try if we can knock it out here. For Sarah, Sarah said, what is the name of a company that will take pictures of your property, post for sale signs for you to validate, the actual condition or the surroundings of your property in any location in the United States? So, what is the name of a company to take pictures or post signs? Now, there's multiple ways to find out different companies, but what Sarah is actually speaking to is any records that are in complete ready to sell. These are properties that you're actually marketing. So if they're in complete ready to sell status, that means you want to sell these property. Well, a lot of the owners, they can go on, you can go on Google Maps, but a lot of times Google Maps has an old picture of the actual property, right? Maybe from a year ago. So the owners want an actual up-to-date picture. So one of the companies that will give you an actual up-to-date picture is, what was the name of the company now? I think it's let's see, We Look. Okay, no, it's We Go Look. WeGoLook.com. That's what it is. Okay. See, sometimes I lose my own place. Okay, so WeGoLook.com. They will actually go out for you, and they will go to your property, and they will take pictures. And there's a way you get started, but you can actually watch a short video on exactly how they work and what they charge. Given the APN number and the location or the address of that parcel, the the coordinates of the parcel, they will actually go out, find those actual coordinates, and take a picture for you, and take several pictures of this for you, and they will email you the current pictures of your property, so that when you post them on your site, you're actually posting the most current pictures. Also, they do have a service where they will put down your for sale signs on the actual parcel for you, so that you can, you can mark your particular property. So people ask me, honestly, Warren, do you recommend that? All right, and I'm kind of in between on that answer. It's a yes and a no. I like the aspect of or the thought of actually posting a picture or a for sale sign on the property that I have listed. We've done that on a couple of occasions, but I'm gonna be honest with you. We did it in one area where the owners that were around, or the surrounding owners, they didn't want anyone to buy that land. They didn't want anybody moving in, so they were destroying the signs. I just, I'm not saying it happens all the time, but I just want you to be prepared. Don't be surprised if you pay for this service. They actually go out and take pictures, and they post your for sale signs, and then you find out by some other neighbor or someone else that's gone out to look at the sign of the property. They say, well, I couldn't find any for sale signs, or the for sale sign I had, or there was a sign out there, but it had been painted over. We've heard of all kinds of things happening where people destroy the actual for sale sign, because they really don't want anybody moving in there. Unfortunately, that can happen. So you may pay for this service, but at least you can have up-to-date pictures of your parcel so that people can easily find it that way. Okay, that's about as far as I can go on that one with you. Okay, and I'm going to work with a list. Okay, Susan has a kind of a loaded question here about finding a title company. So how do we go about finding a title company to work with to obtain a list of out-of-state owners? Okay, well, Susan, we don't normally work with title companies to do that. We do have, after we've done some business with title companies, we've brought them some business, meaning we've had some folks close. We've closed with them. We've had them, they will be more open to giving us a list. We don't go after a title company specifically for a list. All right, we go directly to the county to find or to get our list. We don't go through a title company. So I really don't know how to answer your question. How do you go with or how do you find the title company? Anytime we shop for a title company or an attorney in an area that we're ready to market land, like we have land under complete ready to sell mode, and we find a buyer for our property, the way we shop for a title company or an attorney is by simply Googling those that are in that area. Now, you might be able to do that. Google the title companies that are in the area of the parcel that you're dealing with. Then you can actually speak with some on the phone. However, what we're after when we talk with title companies, we want an investor-friendly title company, meaning that they're willing to work with an investor and close on properties. So this is kind of a challenge, but it takes shopping around, and we do that best through Google. All right, but as I forestated, when we go after our lists, we go directly to the counties and pull our list for our records. And we don't go for out-of-state owners, but we go for out-of-county owners. And maybe I'll have to get into more of a discussion on that down the road. But out of state, you're going to get very, very, very few records. Out of county, I don't care if they're in the next county from my county or they're 2 counties over. I just don't want them to be in the same county as the parcel that I'm dealing with, okay? So that's just hopefully some food for thought there. Okay, folks, let me leave you with this thought for the day here regarding courage. According to Mark Twain, courage is resistance to fear. It's the mastery of fear, but not the absence of fear. That's a very good quote. Courage is resistance to fear, mastery to fear, but not the absence of fear. You'll find even in this business, like in any other business, you'll do many actions, take uh, many things on in your business, and you may be a little fearful, but fear is normal, and you will learn to do and take action in spite of your fear or anxiety. And this business will help you overcome that, especially when you put some dollars in your bank account. Okay, everybody, have a great week. Thank you for being here on the call. We'll look forward to talking with you on Thursday, 12 noon, where we will be here to get your questions answered. If I didn't get them answered today, I promise to be have them answered by Thursday, end of business. Okay? Have a great evening and a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye, everybody.